It's frustrating when people don't leave good maintenance logs and document the work that they do. That's why I've created this rigging maintenance log, keeping track of everything I do for the last 16 years. Pretty big binder. I'm about to the point where I'm going to have to split it off into 2 binders just because it's gotten so thick and large. As you can see, I document everything that we've done. Note that I suspect the old purchase line was older than most of the other lines. The rope was stiff, inflexible, and much harder than all the others. Now it's probably determined since then that it's just been overstressed. Installed new multi-line 2 3/4-inch rope with orange tracer, purchased from Sapsis Rigging, summer 2024, tied with 2 half hitches, both top and bottom, installed with tension block at 3/4-inch high position from the ground, installed modified rope-ease clamp to tie detail at top knot, trimmed bottom tail, installed modified rope-ease clamp plus booster clamp to tie detail of bottom knot. And then afterwards, I decided my tension block ended up a tiny bit lower than I desired. We'll need to adjust it higher and retie to bottom of arbor. I can respell that when I type it in. I know how to spell tie and move rope-ease clamps. And I did that last week, so I have to update this form. And there we updated this with the work that I did adjusting the tension block and adjusting the rope-ease clamps. For the electric, we did some pre-existing measurements. I did this because we're going to be doing some major overhaul on it soon, and I wanted to get all these positions documented. Cable pick point, low trim and high trim, batten high and low trim, distance from proscenium or plaster line, arbor stop position, documenting current batten length, and estimating all of the weight of all of the components because that wasn't documented when this was installed in the early 2000s. Blue spike trim is my concert spike, so I wanted to note that. So when I get the rope replaced, I can use a marlin spike and feed a ribbon into there rather than using blue spike tape. And again, note a very noisy head block, transferring vibrations to purchase line, suspect bad bearings, need replacement with this H&H block, and then later determined that vibrations are from failing purchase line rope, hardening on top half as it goes over head block from excessive loads. Replace purchase line ASAP.
Here's the big full refurbishment maintenance report sheet for line set 14, our 2A electric, which we started in December and finished in January after the break. I've got all my site measurements for the condition it was in before we did any maintenance. We took apart the line set. We removed the raceway, removed the batten, removed the cables and disposed of them, removed the secondary arbor stop, removed the purchase line, installed new purchase line, replaced the arbor shoes, added spreader plates. All of our line sets are missing spreader plates for 6 foot or longer arbors. They only have 1 spreader plate from their original installation. That has long been substandard, and we can either take them apart like this and add spreader plates, or we can add the retro spreader plates that can be added without taking it apart. But those are like $35 a piece. So when you take 44 line sets and just say times 2 extra spreader plates each times $35, that's a big chunk of change. We had to replace 1 loft block because we were repositioning it, and the design of the loft block didn't allow it to fit in the middle position between the standard wells. Cut new cables, measurement between lift lines so we can get our vertical cables positioned properly on the batten. We made a batten, finished up assembling the batten. Made a bridle because we couldn't add that 6th lift line because of electrical boxes on the grid, and some additional notes about how I calculated the bridle. So if I have to do something similar again, I can have reference points. More cabled final trimming, cut the bridles, level the batten, reinstalled the arbor stop, added yellow bricks for pipe weight, mouse shackles, mouse turnbuckles after we let it settle in for a few days. We attached the cable pick point, checked and adjusted level again before we did those final mousings, installed the raceway, attached the cable pick point, had noisy loft block. It turns out we had run one of the cables incorrectly, and it was on the wrong side of a piece of conduit running along the underside of the grid, so we had to fix that. Re-leveled things and remoused turnbuckles. And then final calculations on arbor capacity, bringing it back up to 100%. I've been derating everything at 80% because of deferred maintenance. Nice to have it back up to full 100%. I do have batten specs all here noted, but I forgot to do one measurement, which was the position from the proscenium or plaster line. And it should be the same as what it was previously, but I wanted to do another site measurement and confirm that was actually the case. That's all the notes that I take every time I do maintenance on any of my my line sets and is documented for the next person who will have to do work on the line sets. They can see what we've done.